knowing your red frequency is just the beginning. I want to share with you some of the things that I also include in my report because they're so important as support. They may not be the first thing that people tune into when they get one of my reports, but they are important. And I like to give a report that you can keep returning to and a guide that helps you to know which place to start first so that you can bring it all together. I'm a big believer in self-coaching and for you to have the entry points so it's not overwhelming. So I want to share with you something I put in my guide because we all want to start with off the red frequency and start changing in your content. And that's why I put a chat GPT in here that's customized just for you so that you can get those quick wins and you can see it in action. I feel like that's always key. I remember getting electronics, like in the 2000s, you get a new DVD player and it's, you got to learn all the function buttons of the DVD player, but there's always this quick start guide. Plug this in, do this, that, and boom, you're ready to go. Then you can come back and you can learn about how to do some of the other features, but just to get started, sometimes that's what we need. We just need to get started. And so I always provide that as the start thing. But then we start to layer back in. And there's other things that help you lean more into your red frequency to make everything work. It's not just this one thing. It's an important key thing, but it's not the only thing. So I have some other things that I help people with starting with, and I give them a layout and then I give them their stuff specific to them. So I want you to understand this is how we work through it. But now I don't want you to have to go from this page to that page and this page to that page. I'm going to give you stuff right here. So you can see off to the side where to start. Start with self, your environment, your strengths, and then layers and nuances. And then it's start with yourself. It's your environment. Like these are the parts that are customized. So one of the first things that's super important, we'll start here with number one, is to start with yourself. And that in human design means you can look at your type, your profile, your authority. And I like to use simple language. It can get really overwhelming and complicated. I know a number of people who have joined programs because they wanted to learn more about their human design, but it felt a little bit like overwhelm, too much stuff. Sometimes we just want something simple to get us started. And you may not even be interested in going deep in human design. So you just want that beginning level and with the opportunity to go a little bit deeper if you choose to. And so these are things that we can start off with surface, just get the basics of it. And what is it? Not just, unfortunately, there a lot of the books and a lot of the programs that are out there and even a lot of the reports, they're geared for somebody who is going to seriously study their human design. And that's not the most people that I encounter. They're interested in it. They're curious about it. They want to know more, but they're not here to like go super deep, at least not right now. They're just looking to get a little bit and they want to know it in plain, simple language, not human design speak, because they don't know what all the terms mean. And they also want to see how does it actually show up? And that's something that's important to me. I do it both in the Loom walkthrough as well as what I put here in the guide for them. And of course, we always have follow-up. I always have follow-up time after I deliver a report because it's really important for me to make sure that it's not something like, ooh, this was so much fun, and then it gets put away and never looked at again. It's designed to be used, to breathe, to live, and to serve you. And I want to be there to help make sure that fits into the way that makes the most sense for you. And so type and profile and authority are three things that are really great for starting with yourself. Type would be something like a generator or a manifester, manifesting generator, projector, reflector, those kinds of things. And then profile, that's a number. So it's a combination of a line number from your conscious side and your unconscious side. I'm a 6'2", for example, and it gives some insights into how you might experience the world. And so I go into this and talk about it and really just like I'm just talking to somebody who knows nothing about human design. That's how I do it in the walkthrough. I cover that and give some examples. And I also share examples of people that I know in real life, that how I see it play out within them. So it may not be perfectly, that example may not be perfectly you, but it gives some idea. And I always like to give some contrast too. And so sometimes in the walkthrough, I will also do, this is what yours is, this is what mine is, and here's how I've seen the difference between these two, between the people that I know. And so that it's not always just who you are, but I like a little bit of contrast because it gives a little bit more definition of what it's not and what it is. And authority is the conditions in which we make our best decisions. And so that's an important one to go through and talk about, because we are going to be making decisions. What are you going to put in your content? Are you going to believe me as I talk about this red frequency? And it's not that everything has to be 100% yes, that resonates. Hopefully, most of it does. And most of the time, most of it does. Sometimes there's a little bit of questions and it's trying to figure through some things. And so sometimes that's why the back end support's there. So you can ask those questions and I can offer things. Sometimes we just need to hear it a slightly different way before it starts to begin to click in there. The other thing is your environment and where you make your best decisions. So we have the inner self for making our decisions, and we have the outer layer, the places that we find ourselves in. And we move in and out of all kinds of environments all day, and some of them we make better decisions in. So we talk about that and what that can mean for you in your life. And then we go by your strengths for your energy centers. So like if I come down here to, let's take a look at some of the energy centers. We have 9 of them. And the ones that are defined, those are your strengths. Those are your innate strengths. They're the ones that, nature versus nurture, they're the nature. When you have some open areas, and if I scroll down, I have some open areas. It's where it's white. And that would be they might be strengths, but they're ones that we've earned, that we've lived through, that we've experienced. This might be more of the strengths that come from nurturing them. And so we go through and we talk about that. What are all your strengths? And then we layer on some extra nuances. And that's when in the report here, I'll go through and I'll talk about specific gates. So for example, if I come through and I look at mine, where I have 80%, this part right here is, for me, is the solar plexus. And so some of the extra nuances that I end up layering on happens to be, what are those gates that really stand out inside the center? So let me go back up to here and I'm going to show you what I mean here. And so if I'm going to zoom right in here on the solar plexus, because we were just talking about that, there are 7 numbers inside. So 7 gates that are inside there. And here's how I think about it. Think about each center as a pancake. And each number inside the pancake, so we have the pancake here, right? So I'm gonna doodle. So here's our pancake. It's shaped like a triangle. And we have these 7 numbers, right here. And think of those as fixins that you put in your pancake, like this might be blueberries, this might be walnuts, this might be apples, this might be strawberries, whatever it is, whatever you like to flavor your pancake with. And so they kind of create this unique pancake in there. And so that's the extra layer that gets us down to just a little bit more of a granular level. And so this is how I like to start, is with the red frequency. But I also like to come back to all these things about how you might see yourself and how you might experience a particular environment, because they all matter as well. So we start with the red frequency. That's the first thing. We want to get our hit. We want to get our win. But there's a little bit more layer in here. So everything that I do is I really firmly believe in this ability to self-coach yourself. And so normally I put a bonus of ChatGPT that I have. It's a bot that I have in here that helps you to do your own kind of checking, so you can feel like you're self-coaching, but you have a little bit of oversight from an impartial ChatGPT. Well, maybe it is partial because it is chat. It's not perfect by any means, but it's something. It's an alternative viewpoint that you can use to help check yourself. And those things are really important to me. So I just wanted to share a little bit about what's going on inside the Ideal Client HD report.